Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest dev update for Pixling World. My name is Fredrik Noren, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the new battling system, a little bit about new abilities that I've created for Pixlings and some other features, and then a little surprise at the end. So let's get started. So I talked a little bit about the battling system, like this new way to play Pixling World in the previous video, but I wanted to go through it a little bit more. So since the last time, we've already had like one round of this going, and you can see the leaderboard here, and we started on the second round now. And a couple of things to note. So while you're playing now, there's actually these new features for you to be able to kind of improve your own team that I think are pretty exciting. So one of them is that you can go into a specific pixeling, and then you can click this button over here to kind of breed more copies of him. So you can see like how all these eggs explode from him. And that means that if you find a pixeling that you think looks good and is performing something that you think that this is a good candidate for your team and you want to evolve him further, then you can use this button to kind of speed up evolution. But not only that, you can actually filter by properties to search for pixelings. So for instance, if we search for pixelings, let's see here, with more than 0 children, then we find 7 pixelings that have more than 0 children, and we can select a random one with this button here. And what we could do is that we could breed this guy to kind of get more of these that are good at reproducing, or you can breed all of them that fulfills this filter, or you can also kill them, but maybe we don't want to do that right now. You can also control the mutation rate, so you can really go crazy and like set a high mutation rate and then get all of these ones that are completely different from the parent, or you can set a low mutation rate to kind of fine-tune evolution for this one. So that's a little bit about the battling system, and I think it's very exciting because you can really start to build teams now that and compete against other players that you have some control over how this happens, and you can really figure out like, okay, is this guy good? You can see some statistics about him, and if he looks good to you, you can save him to your team, and he'll show up here in a second. So that was the first thing I wanted to show. The second thing is that I've now added a couple of new abilities to them, and I want to keep adding abilities. So one of the new abilities is this laser ability. So let me see if I can find one guy. And here's where the filtering comes in handy as well. So we have all of these guys that have the laser abilities. Let's see here. Oh, that's like bit of a mess. Okay, so for this demonstration, I'm gonna pause all of the brains for a second here. And the way this works is that this laser ability takes mana, and I've actually added this new way to control pixelings, so I can actually take over control of this guy and move him around. And it works while the other ones are running as well, so you can kind of interact with them in interesting ways. But if we pause them for a second, and let's see if we can cast this ability. Yeah, that was a bit of a bummer. Let's see if we can do it again. Okay, not quite perfect. Come on, give me a nice laser shot here. Let's try another guy. Maybe he's not happy for some reason. Well, you could kind of see it there. The effects still need some work, but it's getting there. Okay, so yeah, it needs more work, but let's jump to the next ability that I wanted to show. So we have this stomp ability. And I don't have anyone with that ability right now, but what I can do is that I can pick one of these guys and I can turn up mutations a lot. And let's let them run around again. And then I can hit the breed button. And since the mutations are high, there's a chance that one of them will actually have this stomp ability. So if we click it a couple of times, let's see if we can actually get one. So you can kind of see how many fit this filter here. Oh, now we have one. Okay, no, he died. Okay, let's do it again. Come on. Oh, there we go. Pause. Where is this guy? Just to be safe, let's create a bunch of this guy actually. There we go, now we have a lot of them. So you actually saw one of them, the little white thing on the ground there is actually the stomp ability. And what happens is that the other Pixlings that are around him gets stunned, and it does a little bit of damage. So you can see that this guy here is now stunned for about a second. Now this guy here. And there's a similar ability which just stuns a single Pixling, so they can kind of go up to one guy and stun him. Let's see, did I create anyone else for this? I think that's about it for the abilities. So this is where you can kind of see all of the properties for a Pixling. Yeah, right. They have a push ability as well, where they kind of push another Pixling up into the air. But to make the video not too long, let's skip this for now. The other thing I wanted to show is that this thing down here, which I kind of used to take control, it also shows you how they're kind of thinking. So in this case, this is how much, like the different bars represent how much he wants to take the different actions that he has access to. And then to the left here is kind of like how he's steering. And this guy is just turning left and going full speed all the time. But we can find some other guys. All of them are just turning left. Maybe, I think I bred the same. Yeah, they're all like the same species now. So what we can do is that we can create a bunch of random ones and see if we can find some guys that are doing something different. Yeah, here we go. So this guy is kind of like, yeah, I mean, he's random right now, so he's not doing anything terribly interesting, but you can kind of see like what they're thinking here. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for updates for the game. There's actually a ton more stuff that I've worked on, but this video would be too long if I go through all of it. But the last thing, the little surprise that I wanted to mention as well, is that I've now created this itch.io page for Pixling World. So you can actually, for a limited time now, you can actually go here and play the game, and I'll open it up for a short amount of time for everyone to just come here and play the game. And if you do, I would really appreciate if you leave a review, even if you don't like it, or especially if you don't like it. But just make sure you also comment so that I can fix the things that are not so good with the game right now. It's still in a very, very early phase. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this update. Thank you very much for listening.